Hey, creative friends. Well, today I'm going to come back with another laser project. Again, probably trying it out of cardboard first, but I want to show you my inspiration first. It's these portal stone sculptures by David Allen. And I just ran across this. Like you guys, I save all kinds of photos and then come back whenever I have time to look at them. But these are my inspiration photos, this portal artwork that he has created, these stones laid on top of each other. I just think they're so cool looking. But anyway, I'm going to go in and make something like this just out of cardboard and probably break it into pieces just to make like a fun desktop sculpture piece. And so just something to sit on your desk that you can have fun taking apart and trying to build again. And so this is definitely some of the photos of the inspiration piece. All right, and so with that, I'm going to choose to use Inkscape to do the design. And so I have Inkscape open, and I am getting ready to just start the design, and it'll be kind of a work in progress, so I'll just kind of let you watch as I go. I may speed this up a bit, but I'm going to just start with circles. And I'm going to take that object and copy it and paste with Control C and Control V. This particular one I'm going to make smaller, and so these sizing handles right now, it will allow me to rotate the circle, but I'm going to click on the object again, and you'll notice as I click on the object those change, and so now I'm going to stretch it smaller. And I did not hit Control to keep it in ratio, but that's okay. I think this will, I would prefer this to have a more of a natural organic look if I can. Now I'm going to move that circle on top of this one. Again, I am not so interested in it being perfect. You certainly could align the center, but I'm going to try to keep this sort of organic. And then I'm going to, the inner circle, again, they're both black, but that's okay. This inner circle is selected. I'm going to hold Shift and select the outer circle, and then go up here to Path to Difference. And that way we get a ring shape. All right, and so with that, then I'm going to go to Path to Object to Path, just in case. That way I want to be able to see the nodes. So this second tool over here, I'm going to click on it and so I can see the nodes that are on these paths. And you can double click to add more nodes. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and just double click and then just have fun and start manipulating this design. And so for instance, this node that I've added, I'm going to stretch it down because I want to try to get a base for this circle. And so I'm going to take a couple of these and then just stretch them down. And you can add as many of these as you want and stretch them out as far as you want. All right. Now this, it is important that the base needs to be perfectly flat. As you can see, mine is not. Now you could take the time to get these nodes all flat, but I'm going to go in and kind of cheat just a little bit. I'm going to draw a rectangle and then do my select tool so that I can move it down to the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is just overlay one on top of the other here. The rectangle selected, I'm going to hold Shift and select my upper circles and go to Path to Difference. Excellent. And then that way it flattened it off here at the bottom for me. All right, and so now with that, it's just a matter of getting this to be a shape that I like. So again, I'm going to go back to nodes, and I'm just going to experiment and play with this. And I will be doing a lot of just trial and error. And so I'm just going to be picking on some of these nodes and then stretching them out. Maybe get one kind of next to it and stretch it out as well to get more of a flat shape here. So I'm just going to be doing some trial and error. And so I will probably speed through some of this video for you at this point. Okay, so again, you can play around with this, but I have something that I like now. And so next I want to show you how you can break this object into pieces. So to do that, I'm going to just draw a straight line. And let's see, I'm going to use this Draw Bezier Curves and Straight Lines tool. And so I click it once to start a line, and then drag it out, and then double click to end the line. And that line is very thin. It really doesn't matter how thick or thin, but I will go over here and stroke style, and I'll make it a little thicker. Not too thick. I'll make it a little bit thicker so that you can see it. So about 3 millimeters. All right. So that is, let's see, let me come back to the select tool. I'm going to select the line and I'm going to copy it because we're going to end up needing multiple lines to cut multiple sections off of our object. Oh, let's see, that copied something else. So let me undo that. We'll come back to our line, do a Control C. That's probably what I forgot. So Control C to copy the line, and then Control V to paste it. And I tell you what, I'm going to do that one more time, and maybe one more time, just so we have several of these lines down here and available. All right, so this one I'm going to take and we're going to move this up. I'm going to click on it again so that I can rotate it. There we go. And just put it somewhere where I want a nice break in the shape to be. All right, so my line is selected. I'm going to hold Shift to select my object, and I'm going to go to Path to Division. Let's see, did that do what I wanted? I don't think so. So I tell you what, I'm going to make sure that this goes all the way across for my very first cut. So I may need to make this line longer. And then I'm going to move it here. I'm going to rotate it a bit. Move that back down. All right, and then let's try this, because I want it to make a nice clean two sections. All right, so now my line is going all the way across. I have the line selected. I'll hold Shift to select the sculpture, then try to go back to Path to Division. Okay, there we go. I think this will get what I want. So I'm going to click off to deselect everything, and then if I click this, you'll notice I can move it separate, and so it has done a clean break there for me. And then this piece likewise is also one big piece. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to end up making this about 5 or 6 pieces. Okay, excellent. So now I have my inspiration, my shape all cut up the way I wanted it to be, and I'm left with this handful of pieces, and this is what's going to get cut out of the cardboard. And so I am going to go in and save this image as an SVG in case you wanted to take these same pieces. And then I'm also going to save it as a .nc file. So first off, I'm going to select everything. And then I want to make sure everything is a path. So object to path for everything. And then I am going to go ahead and group them together. So object to group. And that way I've got a rough idea on the dimensions for this. And so that way I can get my document properties. And I will put this on a document property so that it will size the SVG file correctly. And so let's see, this is in millimeters. So if I set this to, let's see, about 450 by 500 millimeters. So I'm going to go to File, to Document Properties, make sure it's in millimeters, and my width about 450, and height 500. All right, and then I can close this window, and then I can drag this shape. I can drag these shapes all together since they're grouped and put them into this document property template. Let's see, I need to shift that down a bit. Tell you what, let me make that document property a little bit bigger. So 500, we need to bump that up a bit, maybe 520. Yes, that looks better. Okay, so now here's my working area, and now I can go in and save this as a plain SVG file so that I can share it with you. So I'm going to go to File to Save As, and then down here for Inkscape SVG, I'm going to change that to plain SVG, and I'm just going to call it Portal Sculpture. Portal Sculpture. All right, now to be able to cut on our NEJE laser, I'm going to go to Extensions, to Laser Engraver, to this extension that we have loaded special. There's information on the wiki for the NEJE wiki for this. And let's see, I'm going to change this old file name now to Portal Sculpture. And let's see, the preferences, I just leave all the defaults. It is sending it to this output folder, which I've already created on my C drive. And I like to click on this live preview and then click apply. All right. And it looks like it has already done it, but I'm just going to go verify just to make sure that my output folder, yes, it does have an NC file for my Portal Sculpture, and it is only 6K, so it did create something at least. All right, and then you can see the outline here for the path as it's going to cut. And so all of those look like they are just fine. So everything is good. And then since that NC file is already saved in that folder, I don't worry about saving anything else at this point. So I have my plain SVG that's already been saved, and now I have my NC file. And so at this point, I will just close Inkscape. And then I am going to head out to the garage and cut these shapes out on cardboard. Okay, and here's a little bit of video from in the garage as I'm doing the cutting. This is on my third pass, and it's doing very well today. I think I've got my focus set just right. So again, this is a third pass. I'm running this on cardboard at 50% laser power and 10 milliseconds burning time, just using the NEJE software on a Windows PC. So I may get just a little bit more video of the cutting process, but it's taking about 4.5 minutes roughly to do each of these pieces. And again, this is the third pass. So to have a sculpture be able to stand upright on your desk, I need to get about 4 layers of cardboard. So I will be doing quite a bit of cutting here for the next few minutes. So thanks. Okay, I'm hoping that was my last cut that I needed. Again, this cardboard has worked really well for me today. It's a nice fresh box. So yes, this is going to be perfect. And that was 3 times at 50% power at 10 milliseconds. It's just so satisfying to be able to punch these out. I love it. All right, so I have 4 layers all cut out of these pieces, ready to go. I'm gonna head back inside and put it together. Okay, so I've got all the pieces punched out and ready to glue together. Because again, if we do 4 layers, then I know for sure it should stand up. So we will see. Okay, I did get it together and it stayed. I will tell you, it's tricky. These top 3 pieces, you kind of have to put those on at the same time. And this might work better in wood or acrylic, just to have more weight to the pieces. Probably definitely want to keep one of your scrap pieces so that you know the pattern. But yeah, this one's a lot of fun. I hope you get to try it out.